we can safely assume that this guy is going to die. Of course, when you're going to be like, oh, darling, maybe you should stop. You know, it was dangerous last time. You almost died. So many other people died. And he's like, oh, one last time, I swear. Then I'll stop. For the future of our child. Cute wife, cute child. Of course he's gonna die. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to some more solo leveling. Indeed. And give me a second while I find my solo leveling notes. I see. Episode 8, by the way. Previously, on episode 7, I wrote down a couple of things, such as our main character can potentially regrow limbs. Honestly, I mean, that's quite a power to have, not gonna lie. I believe I also wrote down can stack daily progress. So I think last episode, because it's been a while, it's been 2 weeks, because actually last week there was a recap episode, which I didn't watch. I mean, who needs a recap for a 12 episode series? I mean, come on. What the fuck? What are we talking about here? Apparently, he can stack daily progress, but I think it only went up to 200. I'm not too sure. But yeah, apparently he defeated the Guardian to the, like, Demon Lord's castle or something in that instance. And honestly, I don't know. I feel like that was a little bit of bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. You know. I was told that they did, I think, skip some things that was in the manga or source material. I mean, that's kind of the problem with stuff like this, right? Like adaptations like this, where they just kind of they want to jam the entire story into like 12 episodes and then just completely cut out any and all small like character developing scenes or certain scenes that might make things more logical and more like understandable, and so they end up just cutting those out. And honestly, I'm not a fan of that. The fact is, sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, you need to have those small scenes that they're like glue, right? They're like glue that connects the two scenes together. Right? Like, you can't have, for instance, I don't know, like, you can't have a character going from one scene where they are in this location and then all of a sudden they're in the other location. Now, sometimes in that example it kind of works, right? But at the same time, you can't really be like, well, going from point A to point B is a perilous journey and not many people have made that journey. And then you just skip over. You don't show the journey at all. And it's like, huh? So they just got by, okay? They just made the journey, okay? Like, that's kind of an extreme example, but that's kind of what I'm saying, is like, you can't, those small scenes that they end up taking out that kind of explain things, or like, maybe even the smallest thing that they take out could be valuable information that you know, someone like me who wants things to make sense. You know, I look at that and I'm like, well, that didn't make sense, right? But then you see the manga and it's like, yeah, well, they explained it in the manga, right? It's like, I want it to be explained in the show that I'm watching. I don't want to go to something else to get a proper understanding of what I'm watching, right? Regardless, let us jump right into episode 8. Visiting the mother. Oh yeah, elixir of life, right? That's what I forgot to write down. Fucking crafting, bro. True. So the problem here, and this is kind of like something that a lot of shows do, a lot of stories do, is they are creating, or essentially they're showing that the main character's main motivation is caring about someone that we don't care about, that is a problem, right? The main character's motivation is, well, I'm trying to do this thing, but we don't care about that thing, right? The first thing you need to do is make us care about what the main character cares about, right? So we can understand their desperation and their motivations, right? In this case, unfortunately, we haven't seen anything of the mother. We don't know if like, maybe even give us like a couple of flashbacks or something, like how good of a mother she was. I don't know, right? Anything. But in this case, it's like, yeah, we were kind of following him, you know, leveling up and becoming badass and stuff, but like, you know, this mother angle, saving them from this disease, it's, I don't know, I don't care, right? It's hard to care so easily. It's like when someone you meet tells you that, oh yeah, my mother's in the hospital, and like you're like, oh well, that's kind of sad to hear, right? But you don't actively like really care, right? Like it's like, yeah, that's kind of sad, but let's talk about leveling up. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But the problem is that this is the main character's main motivation, right? That's the main problem. Let's get it! I figured he would accept. But yeah, I was about to say, like, I thought they needed, like, because there's usually always someone who is there, right? Like when they came out of the dungeon, there was that woman who wrote down like what happened, right? Like there's always someone who is like the gatekeeper, I guess. So how? And what, like just tell them to stay at the entrance or something?
俺たち2人が無事なら19回のレイドを怪我人ゼロで終えることができる。19回連続無事故の攻撃隊。親父さんに実力を認めてもらう絶好の材料じゃないか。なるへそ。
Yeah, but I feel like wouldn't the people who just kind of wait at the entrance, wouldn't they like get suspicious? Wouldn't they also like talk about their experience? Unless you NDA them, I guess, but like... I mean, he probably has a better plan than I do. Oh, it's, Miss, what was her name? I can't be asked to look it up. I have it written down somewhere, but like... Miss, something. Very short name. Also, the reason I'm often more quiet when I record these is because I'm recording them in the middle of the night, pretty much.
トレーニング中失礼します。私、こういうものです。ゲートが発生するようになって十数年、世界は目まぐるしく変化している。今やインフラ、経済、メディア、政治に至るまで、あらゆるものがダンジョンとは無関係ではいられない。特に人々の生活の基盤となるインフラは、ダンジョンの資源なしには立ち行かなくなった。
You know what I really think would happen if this happened in real life? I don't think this would happen. I think the military would be involved. I think most likely what would happen is every time a gate comes up, there would be special forces who have powers, right? Because yes, they've made the rule that only hunters or people who have, you know, gotten the powers, right? But let's be honest, the militaries are very big. I mean, I would imagine even Japan, honestly. And there would be a bunch of hunters in the military as well. And I would imagine a lot of the hunters who are revealed to have powers, right, and they become hunters, they would probably be drafted into the military or something like that, or brought in to work for the military, and then they would essentially be, as a collective military like unit, they would systematically like deal with these dungeons. I think that's a lot more likely to happen if like random gates were to appear in the city. Because the main reason is like, if the gates aren't shut down within 7 days, these things come to the real world. So I think the military would 100% step in, not even a question. I don't think they would ever make it into some sort of like RPG thing where they allow civilians to go in. Hell no.
ハンター協会は覚醒したハンターのランク判定、登録、管理を行う。競売から漏れたゲートの処理の手配、ダンジョンブレイクの対応も担っている。しかし協会はあくまでも公的機関に過ぎない。実際にこの社会を回すために十分なダンジョン資源の大半を持ち帰っているのは、ギルドというハンター業を基軸とした企業体だ。ギルドはそのダンジョン資源の獲得をもってして、莫大な利益を得ている。中でもハンタースギルド、白虎ギルド、死神ギルド、明星ギルド、騎士団ギルドの国内5大ギルドは強大。それらの利益をほぼ独占していると言っている。これまで国の発展を支えてきた我々が責任を持って預かるべきこと。
More like this guy's like, shit, bro. There's money to be made. It's not about supporting the country. It's about, dude, we're businessmen. We want to make money. Money, money, money.
もう規定の回数以上はカウントされないか。やはり以前のシークレットクエストで選択しない。
Ah, okay, okay. So it was a one-time thing. But the existence of a secret quest indicates that there are other secret quests.
だよな。ここまで能力値が上がってくると3ポイントの振り分けだけでも物足りない。もっと手っ取り早くレベルを上げたいが、C 級ダンジョンはジンホの連絡待ち。
Dude, he's like, he talks about how quickly he wants to level up, but like, dude, what level are you now? I wasn't actually looking. Level 26. And honestly, like, how long has it been? Couple of weeks? Like, maybe like 2 months at most? And you're level 26 already? Bro, like, this guy really doesn't play many MMOs, does he? That's normal. For more like hardcore games.
いや、あの頃より楽に逃げられるかもしれないが、倒すとなると。それに経験値が入ると。
Wait, he's trying to kill the centipedes?
D 級ゲートへの招集。ハンター協会による攻撃隊の編成要請。となると単独で戦うわけにもいかないな。断るか。ないよりマシか。もう何ヶ月も経つというのに。緊急招集か。低級ハンターは雑用のような呼び出しが多い。師範は本当に引退なさらないのですか？引退？確かにな。片腕を失った老いぼれなんぞ足手まといにしかならんかもな。いや、そういうわけだ。だが腕は失ったが拾った命だ。さほど長くもない人生だが、どうせなら世の中に貢献するために使いたい。
Leaving the world as a better place for the younger generation. An admirable goal, but, well...
ねえ、あなた。そろそろハンターの仕事やめてくれない？
またその話か。
だって危険すぎるわ。この前のレイドも大勢亡くなって、あなたも危ないところでギリギリ逃げてきたんでしょ？
おお。でも
来年から運次は幼稚園だし、運派も中学だ。金はいるようだろ？
Just get a normal job, bro.
大丈夫さ。教会だって危険なダンジョンには俺らみてえな低級なハンターは呼ばねえよ。前のが特別だっただけだ。
My problem is that they don't how do I say this? They don't show the pros of doing the dungeon, right? Like they don't say how much exactly, like how valuable going to a dungeon is, right? Like how much money do you get? How like what's worth putting your life in danger for, right? Like even people like him who go to like low ranked dungeons, apparently it's enough to risk your life for, right? So it's like, how much money are they making just from going through these dungeons? Because like, dude, there's normal jobs out there as well. It's not like the world completely changed, you know? I mean, what happened to all the normal jobs? I essentially really want to know how much money they make from just doing a D-ranked dungeon. Because like, it has to be a lot of money. But even then, I don't know. Like something just doesn't feel right.
よくもやってくれたな。何のことですか？インタビューなんざ面倒な仕事をしつけやがって。拝見しました。なかなかどうにいったものでした。
Oh yeah, another thing actually. I wanted to ask the question of, do children also get powers? Is there an age limit? Do your superpowers, does your magic or whatever your magic power surface when you're like 18? Because like we haven't seen a single like young character that has powers.
大変心に
Right?
しみるお話でした。心にもないこと言ってんじゃねえ。そもそもあの仕事は元はお前んとこに来た話だろ。ですが、郷会長経由で来た有力ハンターの仕事に対する真摯な姿と誠実な人柄を見せるというオファーに対して、僕では少々不適当かと思いまして。うさんくさい自覚あんのかよ。一応共有しておいた方がいいかと思われる話ができましたので。友人建設がギルド立ち上げに動いているようです。知ってるよ。裏で動き回っているみたいだな。うちでも引き抜きの噂は上がってきてる。ありくどいまなよせ。もう一度聞く。本題は何だ？
Let me look ominous and like I'm planning something.
他の人ならそれなりに強いんやろうけど、あんたじゃ足手まといになる。
What a thing to say to your child, Jesus.
お父さんも心配して。勝手に話進めんといてよ。自分のことは自分で決めれるからほっといて。ちょっと何あんた。足手まといか。でももうちょっと頑張ってみよう。失礼します。いや、どうしましたか？チャヘインハンター。
Oh, Cha, yeah, that's what it was.
トレーニング中に友人建設のスカウトの方が来まして、そのご報告に。
ほう。
何でも新しいギルドを立ち上げるから、ギルドマスターとしてぜひうちに来てほしいと。
報告ということは断ったということでいいのかな？はい、その場でお断りしました。安心しました。ありがとうございます。いえ、そういえば私が来る前にベク社長がお見えになっていたようですが、何を話されていたんですか？あなたはジェジュ島についてどう思っていますか？ジェジュ島？どうってのは何がだ？
Is that the island that even like S ranks have trouble with?
大衆には年に1回の異例の様子が伝えられるだけ。人々は恐怖とともにあの島のことを忘れ去ろうとしている。だがそれは仕方ないことだ。ですが僕はどんなにゲートの存在が日常になったとしても、人類最終兵器などともてはやされても、あの島のことは、あそこで起こったことを忘れたことはありません。僕はいずれ遠くない未来に再びあの島の攻略を目指します。そのためにも今あなた方に分裂されては困るのです。我々は力をつけ、仲間を増やし、 世論を動かす必要があります。取材や新人育成もそのため。
Interesting. So this island.
あなたもあるんじゃないですか?
Interesting. So it seems like this Juju Island might be like the final area. Is it as good as or is it as bad as the Demon King's castle though? I mean, I don't know about that one.
お兄ちゃん、荷物は？
大丈夫だ。じゃあ行ってくる。
ちょっと。
Gotta be suspicious at this point, right? There's no way she's not suspicious at this point.
系の力に目覚めなかった私の剣はモンスターに通用しない。数十年間やってきた剣はダンジョンで何の役にも立たないが、剣士である私が魔法系ハンターとして覚醒したのもまた運命。それにも何か理由があるのだ。ん?
Are they meeting up again? The first time since
まさかとは思ったが、孫君じゃないか。お久しぶりです。こんなところでまた会うとは。
I'm guessing the girl will also show up. Okay, so it's been a few months. Okay. Pretty much as I expected.
病院で目が覚めた時には戻っていたんです。そうか。あの後救護に来たハンターの中に上級のヒーラーがいたのかもしれない。
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. So there are potentially either he's just talking out of his ass, or there are healers who can heal severed limbs. Good to know. Good to know.
ありがとうございます。でも、孫さんは。私は怪我を負ってから時間が経ちすぎたようだ。だが構わないさ。それよりも君が無事だとは教会員から聞いていたが、こうしてまた会えて嬉しいよ。孫さんはどうしてここに？教会に呼ばれたんだ。D級だそうだ。孫さんもですか?
Like the good old days. The boys are back together again.
あの日のメンバーが揃うとは。
ジヌさん。
ジュヒさん。それにキムさんとカンさん。無理もない。あの日私たちは
Indeed.
孫君を置き去りにしてあの場所から逃げた。私に剣を突きつけたキム君はなおさら青
True, true.
だがこうしてまたあの惨劇を生き残った5人が集まったのだ。なら
ジヌさん、なんですよね。すごく見違えて。
はい、お久しぶりです。こっちにも若い女がいるじゃねえか。
Who the fuck is this guy?
なんだ
Prisoners?
お兄ちゃんとできてんのか?
What the?
静かにしろ。遠足じゃないんだぞ。
Are they using prisoners? Because I mean, it would make sense, right? There would be people who, well, either potentially got powers after already being in prison, or they got powers and then they used their powers for evil purposes and then they got imprisoned. But I suppose I guess they're like Suicide Squad, like they're using prisoners to clear dungeons. I mean, what do they do? Like, hey, if this dungeon is not defeated, if this gate doesn't close 2 days after you went in there, like if you come out and it hasn't closed, we're gonna kill you, or something like that. Like what? Can they do that?
本日皆さんと同行する代役服役者になります。
代役服役者？犯罪者と一緒に戦えというのですか？
犯罪を犯したハンターですが、厳刑が目的ですので危険行為をしたりはしません。この区域のハンターが減って人手が足りないのです。ご理解ください。
なんてことだ。
I feel like you're better off sending in just 5 people instead of sending 8 people where 3 of them are criminals.
今回は
They're more likely to hinder you than to help you. Is he also coming? Or is he staying out?
なんだか不安です。ジュヒさんは参加を見送ってください。
ジヌさんは？
俺は行きます。
それなら私も行きます。
わかりました。いや、自由って最高だな。俺ら奴隷でもないのに。
And if this guy is supposed to watch them, why doesn't this guy just solo the dungeon? You know? If he's coming as well, which, I mean, he has to, right? To look out for these three. What? Huh? Is there like a... Is there... Okay, I assume that the 8-person requirement was created by the government, not necessarily by the gate, I'm guessing. And the thing is, even Jinwoo, when he signed on with that you know, the younger guy, he was like, hey, the two of us will defeat the dungeons, right? That means that if you're like B rank or higher, you can probably solo like at least D rank dungeons, probably. Which means, what's with the 8-person requirement exactly? What, you know? Is there like more to this? Because, you know, I've never understood the 8-person requirement. Like, I kind of understand that, you know, you're doing like a raid dungeon, right? And you should have 8 people, but like, imagine you're level 60 and you're entering like a level 20 dungeon. You can easily just solo everything. I feel like this 8-person requirement is just not necessary when you have a B class for a D class dungeon. If you have a B class hunter right here, you know.
孫君、私がリーダーをしても構わないか？
はい、もちろん。
ありがとう。また機会をくれて。だが、君のおかげで6人が生き残った。君以外の5人を代表して言わせてくれ。心から感謝している。
孫さん、顔を上げてください。
I mean, it's not like it was his fault, you know?
私がリーダーをしても。
好きにしてください。
そういうことですので、ダンジョンでは私が選
He's looking at that guy like, I like. I mean, something's definitely going to happen
ダンジョンへ。
with the criminals. Oh, fuck me. Already? Well, yeah, like I said, something's definitely gonna happen with the prisoners. I'm sure it's gonna be cool, but this 8-person requirement thing is kind of bullshit, I feel like. And bringing the prisoners, it's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I feel like it would make more sense if they had some sort of, I don't know, like combined skill rating or something, right? Like, let's say you need a combined rank of A class or A rank to take on a D dungeon by yourself. So maybe if you're, you are an A class or A rank hunter, you can easily just solo a D class dungeon, right? Makes sense. In that same sense, if you have 3 B class hunters, you can also, just the 3 of you can defeat a D class dungeon by yourselves. If you have 5 C classes, or maybe 6, you can, with the 6 of you, you can go and do a D class dungeon. I feel like that would make more sense, right? And then if you have 8 D class or more or something, then you can do a D class dungeon with D rank hunters, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like an 8-person requirement is just unnecessary for a lot of the time. But I mean, maybe there's like other things that we just don't know about, or certain things that might require more people. There might be dungeons where a bunch of people are required, for instance. Maybe there's puzzles where you need multiple people? Because I mean, we did see in the statue dungeon, right, in the beginning, where they had to like enter the circle of flame or whatever, and then if there was just one person, I mean, they wouldn't be able to look at all the statues. So it is possible that there might be like dungeons that have puzzles attached to them that require at least 8 people. So maybe the 8 people requirement is some sort of like, you know, like there's more to it. We can safely assume that this guy is going to die. I don't think they're gonna run into another, you know, statue, S-rank dungeon, secret S-rank dungeon. I don't think they're gonna run into one of those again. But those prisoners are probably going to do something, most likely. And then yeah, this family guy, this family dude, family man is gonna die. Because I mean, come on. Of course, when you're gonna be like, oh, darling, maybe you should stop. You know, it was dangerous last time. You almost died. So many other people died. And he's like, oh, one last time, I swear. Then I'll stop, you know, for the future of our child, right? I mean, come on, right? That's such a huge death flag. You know, cute wife, cute child. Of course he's gonna die. This guy, I don't know. I don't think this guy will die yet. He seems not the type, exactly. He hasn't had his story arc yet, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. They are definitely setting up a bunch of these other characters, and we also were told of this Juju Island, which seems to be like, well, I mean, they went there, right? And I think they're like S rank and A rank hunters, right? And they fucking failed. And apparently this island is now just sitting there. Reminds me of there was that anime some time ago. Fuck. What was the name? Where you know, they sent a bunch of prisoners, like very skilled prisoners, to this mysterious island to look for the elixir of life or something, right? And then turned out that island turned out to be very, very dangerous. So yeah, I think we're kind of in the same boat here, where there's this island apparently that has a bunch of these very difficult. Maybe there was like a S rank dungeon that they couldn't clear, and then all the monsters came onto that island. It is what it is. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed episode 8 of Solo Leveling. I think next episode we're gonna get back into the action again. I think these criminals are up to something. They seem kind of sus, not gonna lie. In any case, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.